Well, hey everyone, Hudson Henry here. This is Approaching the Scene, and I just want to take you on a little tour of how spectacular Cuba is. So I just got done teaching a workshop in South Carolina. It was a kind of a short hop to Havana. I met my family here, and we've been touring around, kind of scouting for a workshop for next year. I've heard such phenomenal things about this place that I had to come and see it for myself. And I gotta say, it's underrated photographically. I mean, the city in Havana is spectacular. The old cars are so vibrant. You know, you think it might be just kind of a cliche, but they're actually running all over the place. Riding around in them is a blast. The architecture is spectacular. We've been running around doing street photography, and some of the murals and the old buildings just make for amazing portrait photography. It's been so fun to be here with my family, my kids traveling around. And then, you know, we got a local guide and came out to this really beautiful rural area called Viñales. I mean, this is just spectacular organic garden right now that these master gardeners here run, and it's got epic food, wonderful drinks. I'm having a mojito, very, very Cuba. And just the light is beautiful, the landscape is natural. There are beautiful old cars from the 40s and the 50s rolling along with horse-drawn carts and horses, and it's special. I've just got to say, if you haven't been here, you really owe it to yourself to get out here. Cuba is better than they tell you, and I've just been having a really, really wonderful time. So I can't wait to run a workshop here next year. And I think, again, if you've been thinking about coming, you know, with politics kind of going the way that they've been going and it being open and then closed, I'm sure it's going to open again. And the more people that come here, the more it's going to change, and it's really, really special right now. So, you know, part of me says, don't come, don't change it, but if you come, just enjoy it. You know, you got to expect a little bit more of a natural experience. The people here are so incredibly friendly. They bend over backwards. You know, my little girl Pepper, we were running around today. She didn't get sunscreen on quite in time when we're not used to that tropical sun. It's a little more intense than we're used to. She got a little bit of a burn, and then we stopped at this little bar to get a cold beer on our way back to the hotel and be in the shade. And, you know, we asked the people there if there was any aloe anywhere, and the bartender left, and he was gone for like 20 minutes, and he comes back with sliced aloe ready to rub on her skin from a plant that he had at his home, and he just left and came back with it. I mean, it's just like that constantly here. I have been blown away by the hospitality, the friendliness, and just the big heart and spirit, plus just how spectacularly beautiful. I mean, everywhere I've been, I could stop and make a beautiful photo. So a great, great experience. I can't rave more about it. And I've been a lot of places, and this is literally one of my favorites. So Cuba rocks. I almost forgot. I just ordered another mojito, and it dawned on me, I've had a ton of questions. I just checked email about the video that I did about the depth of field problem with the Nikon Z6 and the Nikon Z7. A lot of people maybe misunderstood me a little bit. It's not that the camera won't stop down and give you a preview of what the image looks like at your final aperture, whether it's, you know, f11, f16, f22. It's that you can't lock that depth of field to work with the image. And when we're set up in the landscape and when we're meticulously crafting a landscape image, it's that you can't zoom in and stop down. So I can't stop down past f5.6 and zoom in to check what the focus looks like in the distance at my chosen final aperture. What's going to happen is, you know, I can zoom in, and then when I hit that depth of field preview, it jumps back to the fit view, and I can't see what it looks like zoomed in. And so what's going to happen when I take the image is, you know, that it'll close the shutter, shut the aperture down, open and close the shutter, and come back to a view at f5.6. The only way to view what the image looks like, stop down any more than f5.6, is to touch that little button, and only while it's held down does it preview that, and there's no way to zoom in while you're doing it. That's my problem. When I craft a landscape image, I want to stop down and look at what the background looks like, look at what the foreground looks like, check what's really in focus, zoomed in on what the sensor's view of the scene is. So that's the problem. It's not that I can't get a depth of field preview like I could in an old school film camera. The problem is that since I first had live view on a DSLR, I think it was the Nikon D300S, when I stop down, the natural default is to get it stopped down all the way. As I stop down, it gives you a stop down live view, and you can zoom in and preview. And it's like that's been taken away and we've stepped back in time, and I feel like I'm back in the days of film where I pull the little lever, stops the blades down, everything gets dim, and I get to see. Now everything doesn't get dim, but I still don't get to zoom in and work the image the way that I'm used to in the landscape. This has been This Approach in the Scene. If you're enjoying them, please click subscribe, please click like. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.